week 9. RotoBros Live week 9 start, sit, Sunday. Welcome in, baby. Welcome in. Dominic Hogan, that's what I'm talking about. Chop, chop, baby. Braves are World Series champions, folks. The Atlanta Braves are World Series champions. I can't think of a better way to get a football show started off than with a little bit of baseball. A little bit of baseball praise. Hats off to the Braves for winning the World Series. All right, but we got business to get to this week. Week 9, start, sit, Sunday. Welcome in, guys. We're going to try to get you guys a win this week. We got several teams on bye as well, 3 teams, I believe. And so we're trying to navigate you around all that crap and get you guys a win. Thomas Walters, how about them Braves? There you go, man. Everybody knows. Everybody's happy about them. I think everybody outside of Texas wanted the Astros to win for the most part. Or wanted the Braves to win, for the most part. Okay, first question of the day. Let's get rolling here. Start 2, PPR, Devonta Smith, Mike Williams, or CMC. Look, a lot of people are saying that CMC is going to be playing. He is expected to play. Some are saying he might be on a little bit of a pitch count. I don't care. It's Christian McCaffrey. There's not many players, if any, in fantasy that score more fantasy points per touch than Christian McCaffrey. If I've got Christian McCaffrey, I'm rolling him out there, despite any warnings of a pitch count. This is a team that has not been throwing the football very well, so him in the receiving game is going to also help. But they also want to get the run established as well. It's not like Chuba Hubbard has been wonderful, so I think they want to try to kind of get some of that life back in the offense, and CMC is going to be the way to do it. So I'm not really panicking on Christian McCaffrey. Pick 3, Keenan Allen, Devonta Adams, CeeDee Lamb, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is going up against the team this week that has given up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. So if Cooper Kupp was not good enough this season, it sounds like he's about to get a lot better this week. So Cooper Kupp, you're definitely not benching. You're not going to bench Devonta Adams. I'll get to that in a second. And I'm not going to bench CeeDee Lamb. So I will bench Keenan Allen if I have to, if I can't play all 4. But look, I'm fine with Devonta Adams today, guys. I really am, because I think that Jordan Love is going to have a fantastic game. I think he's going to be just fine. I'm not saying he's going to throw for 6 touchdowns, but I think Jordan Love is going to be more than serviceable. He's going to have a pretty good fantasy day, and I think he's a great stopgap option this week if you have lost, maybe if you lost Kyler Murray and you need a stopgap option. Jordan Love's probably not available on the wire anymore, but if he is, and you need a quarterback, you could do a lot worse this week, I think, than Jordan Love. I think this is either one of 3 scenarios. It's either going to be a competitive game in which Jordan Love, I think, is going to be just fine. It's either going to be a game where they're getting blown out by the Chiefs, which obviously then Jordan Love's going to have to throw a lot, or they're going to be blowing out the Chiefs, which if they're blowing out the Chiefs, that means Jordan Love's probably already had a good game anyway. So I think Jordan Love is an excellent start today against the Chiefs. So I'm all about Jordan Love and Devonta Adams. I'm treating Devonta Adams and Aaron Jones and everybody just like I normally would. Let's see. Josh Wallace, Bourne, Shenault, or Slayton in PPR. I'll go with Shenault. I don't really like any of those options, but I'll go with Shenault just because he's probably going to get a little more volume of touches. He touches the ball more often. So, I'll go with Shenault, but I'm not really excited about it, so hold your breath there. Thomas Walter, standard scoring, Gaskin or Melvin Gordon. I'm going to go with Gaskin. I'll go with Gaskin. No Tua today. Tua's broken middle finger has not healed to completion, so Jacoby Brissett is getting the start. I'm going to go with Myles Gaskin here, but I don't mind the Melvin Gordon start if that's where you want to go. I don't think it's a bad matchup either with the Raiders, so I'm gonna not the Raiders. They're playing the Giants. But I'm gonna go with Gaskin. I think Gaskin's probably gonna get more overall touches. I think we're starting to see Javonte Williams be incorporated in this offense more and more and more, and that's just gonna continue to happen as the season goes along. Agnew, Callaway, or Sharp. I don't really like any of those options, so I will go with Callaway since he is going up against the Falcons defense, and Matt Ryan agrees that is the right choice there. So. I would keep expectations in check, but I would play Marcus Callaway as the ceiling play, as the big play option there. Should we start Amari Cooper over Debo, seeing as Debo might not play the whole game? I probably would. I mean, when you've got 2 essentially when you've got essentially two elite options there, and one of them might be on some sort of a snap count or a pitch count, or may not even play. I think the smart thing probably is to play the other elite option. So I will take, and with Dak probably playing today, I think he is expected to, I believe, for last thing I read. So I would probably go with Amari over Debo just to be safe this week. So hopefully we'll get some more news leading up to that game, but I'll go with Amari Cooper this week. Full point PPR, Kadarius Toney or Jalen Waddle. I will take Kadarius Toney this week. I obviously love Jalen Waddle. He was a top 3 receiver for me in this draft, pre-draft. But I do think that Kadarius Toney this week has a good matchup against the Raiders. And I think with, Kenny Galladay's playing on the other side of him, so he's not going to be as focused in on by the defense as he typically would be. And Sterling Shepard's out. So I think Kadarius Toney's going to be busy today with his snaps. Michael Clark, will the Braves repeat as world champions? Let's hope, man. Let's hope. We got to bring our guys back, but let's hope. Start 2, PPR, Lamb, Keenan Allen, Judy, Renfro. Start 1, tight end, Goddard or Pat McAfee. Well, you're not benching Dallas Goddard. You're just not. I love Pat McAfee. Pat Freiermuth. I love Baby Gronk. I love Pat Freiermuth. But you're not benching Dallas Goddard. You're just not. So Dallas Goddard every single week. As far as your wide receiver question, I'll start the best 2 options. I'm not benching Keenan Allen or CeeDee Lamb so that I can play Hunter Renfrow and Jerry Jeudy. Just say it out loud. It doesn't make any sense. So you're going to start Lamb. You're going to start Allen as you normally would. Van Bush, Trevor Simeon, or Taysom Hill. Trevor Simeon's going to get the start, it sounds like. Taysom Hill's obviously more of a dual threat. He's got a higher ceiling. I don't know why he's not going to start. He could totally play more snaps. I think I would probably lean Taysom Hill because he's going to be used in many more ways. I think he'll have the ability to score more fantasy points in totality. But just know that Trevor Simeon is supposed to get that start this week. Clinton Garrett, Elijah Mitchell, Chase Edmonds, Jeremy McNichols, Boston Scott, PPR pick 1. It's Elijah Mitchell, man. This is easy. Like Clinton, you're not going to start. You're going to start Elijah Mitchell really until the wheels fall off. And I know Jeffrey Wilson's coming back. That could eat into his touches. But Elijah Mitchell right now, you can't bench him. You can't. He's a workhorse, and he's in a Kyle Shanahan offense, so he's going to be, getting a lot of great opportunity there, obviously. So I think you got to go Elijah Mitchell, and you got to ride him strongly there. And you're never going to bench Elijah Mitchell for those guys. I don't even care what the matchup is, to be honest with you. PPR, BMW, Woods, Sutton, or Jerry Jeudy. I will go with Sutton as my number 1 choice. So I'll go Sutton. I think I just lost. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'll go Sutton, BMW, Woods, and Jeudy. They're all 4 kind of close, but I'll take Sutton over everybody. Devonta Smith or Mike Williams. I will go with Mike Williams just based more of like a pure workload and based on that he's pretty much done more, improved more, I think, this year. I think as the season goes along, obviously I've said all summer long that Devonta Smith is going to be a game winner. And I do think that will come to fruition as we get closer to fantasy playoff time. But this week I'll go with Mike Williams. Happy Falcons losing day. We'll see. I personally think we're going to win this thing today. I do. I think typically I'd be like, I don't think. I think the Falcons are going to win this thing today. I think we're going to get back to 500. I'm feeling good about it. I'm really feeling good about it. Pick 1, Gage, Hardman, Rondale Moore. Don't really like any of those. I will take Rondale Moore, I guess, for the ceiling play. Also, thoughts on rostering Rashad Bateman or Odell. I'm not rostering Rashad Bateman. I'm just not doing it. But I am rostering Odell Beckham. Because Beckham, wherever he goes, whether it's a losing team or a team like the Packers or the Chiefs or something like that, he's going to get a lot of work. I don't think he's going to wind up in one of these situations where the quarterback is as up and down as Baker Mayfield. And by the way, a lot of you need to apologize to me from a few years ago when I told you Baker Mayfield is just not it, because he's just not it. Okay. I think that they're going to learn from this experiment that he had with the Browns. They're going to say, look, we got to use him. We got to get him the ball. He's still got talent. It's not like, this really is like the Randy Moss in Oakland sort of thing. I'm not saying Odell Beckham's going to turn back into a top 5 dynasty wide receiver, but I do think that he could finish the season as a fantasy wide receiver one somewhere. I'm not saying he will. He probably won't, but he could, especially if it's somewhere like Green Bay. I think that would be that would be my number one spot for him. By the way, guys, real quick, I just want to let you know, you see it scrolling across the bottom. Check out the RotoBros Fantasy Advice Lounge. Best place to get your waiver advice, trade advice, start sit advice, all of it throughout the week, and no matter the sport, all season long, even in the off season. We got a bunch of stuff there for you. Best ball DFS. That's going on year round. So if you want to win some money, check that out as well. Go to patreon.com/RotoBros. You will not regret it. And your first 2 months are free. So essentially your entire season is free. The rest of the year is free for you. So it doesn't make any sense not to do it. Patreon.com/RotoBros. Again, your access will be completely free. So remember that. So check that out. You will not regret that. Deonte Harris or Marquez, Valdez, Scantling. I'll go with Deonte Harris, but I'm really not crazy about either one of these guys. So I think these are both high ceiling plays. They are low probability, but high ceiling plays, right? They're not going to get a lot of volume. You're hoping for the 70-yard touchdown pass. Like, that's what you're hoping for with these guys. I'll go with Deonte Harris because of matchup, because of the Falcons' defense. Tyler Hombrick, Devonta Smith, Hunter Henry, or Carlos Hyde in the flex. I'll go with Devonta Smith. I'm not going to trust, definitely not going to trust Carlos Hyde. I don't care if James Robinson's out or not. And James Robinson is expected to sit this week, so he's not expected to play. So keep that in mind. Hunter Henry would be a close second, and I wouldn't blame you if you went Hunter Henry, to be honest with you. So it's really personal preference. I will go with Devonta Smith, though. Again, more of a ceiling play option there. 12-team PPR start one. Drake, Freeman, or Brandon Bolden. I'll go with Kenyon Drake. I know Josh Jacobs has been a little banged up, so maybe that's why they're using Kenyon Drake a little bit more. But the coaching staff, ever since John Gruden left, the coaching staff has seemingly wanted to get Kenyon Drake involved in the game plan more. And it's working. And Kenyon Drake's got the value that we thought he was going to get when you were getting him in, the 14th round? Okay, as the highest paid backup running back in the league. I mean, he was always a steal. They just, when Gruden was there, they weren't using him properly. So I think Jacobs should be back now. But regardless, I think Kenyon Drake's going to be more involved in the offense, the primary pass catcher. We'll see how that continues to go. I'll go with Kenyon Drake. I've got him going in a couple leagues due to bye weeks this week as well. Pick 2, Lawrence, Darnold, or Tannehill. I will go with Trevor Lawrence, actually, and I'll go with Ryan Tannehill. I'm not trusting Sam Darnold. I'm just not. He's not any good. They haven't been good passing the ball lately. Give me Lawrence and Tannehill. Is Kyler Murray going to play? It doesn't sound like it. He traveled with the team, so did DeAndre Hopkins, but it does not sound like either one of those guys is going to play, so Colt McCoy will be getting the start today. Elijah Mitchell, James Conner, James Robinson if he plays, 100%, or Hyde. He needs one. He also has Wilson Jr. You're not starting Jeffrey Wilson Jr. just yet. You're not going to, you're not going to start James Robinson because he's probably not going to play. And I'm not benching Elijah Mitchell for James Conner. I would, if James Robinson played, I would bench James Conner for James Robinson. So it would come down to Elijah Mitchell and James Robinson. But since James Robinson is probably not going to play, then I am going to take Elijah Mitchell. Now, if James Robinson was at 100%, I would take him just slightly over Elijah Mitchell. But he's not going to be 100% even if he does play. So it's going to be Elijah Mitchell by default. Risk Kyler sitting or start Carr? You're going to start Carr. Kyler Murray is going to sit. He's not going to play today. Kittle on a snap count or Rondale Moore? George Kittle is going to be on a snap count. They already said he's probably going to look at playing about half the snaps. So there, it's not one of those things like Christian McCaffrey where, oh yeah, he's probably going to be on a snap count, but we really don't know how much of a snap. Is it really going to be a snap count? We know George Kittle's going to be on a snap count. We know he's going to play close to half the snap. So not worth the risk this week to me. I would bench George Kittle and go elsewhere. I would go with Rondale Moore there. Kadarius Toney or Marquise Brown. The way that I know that Bateman may be back this week, but the way that Marquise Brown has been playing, I think you got to go with Marquise Brown. You got to. I think he's a higher ceiling play as well. Got to go with Marquise Brown. I would play. My answer would be Toney if Bateman was 100% healthy, and we knew he was going to play. I would go Toney. So keep an eye on that injury report. But Marquise Brown, knowing what we know right now, I think Marquise Brown would be the option. Rondale Moore or James Conner. I will go with James Conner because it's a volume of touches. Rondale Moore is complete. I told you guys this all summer long. Mark didn't believe me, but I told you guys this all summer long. Rondale Moore was going to be a frustrating fantasy player. He was going to be like KJ Hamler. He was going to be one of these guys that is electric and dynamic in real life, but you cannot rely on him in fantasy. He's got a low fantasy floor. He just does. And I mean, he's just not, he's a great on the field, real life player. But in fantasy, you are never going to be able to rely on a guy like that because he's typically not going to get enough volume, okay, to be a weekly fantasy difference maker. He's never going to have that sort of impact that a guy like a Jamar Chase would have, right? And I don't think that even in fantasy he's going to be even better than Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle's going to get more, he's going to be used differently. He's going to get more volume. Rondale Moore's just not going to do that. He's just not going to do that. So anyway, that's my little Rondale Moore rant. James Conner, though, is going to be the option every week, really. James Conner's going to be the option. Cardinals defense, or do you recommend someone else? Dolphins, Ravens are available. If the Patriots were available, I'd recommend the Patriots, but they're probably not available. I wouldn't go with the Ravens. I would probably go with the Dolphins, but I'm not excited about any of those defenses. Just chalk your defense up to a loss at that point. Don't expect anything from the defense. I'll go with the Dolphins, but I'm not excited about it. Jerry Jeudy, Dallas Goedert, or Jamal Agnew. I will go with Jerry Jeudy. I'll go with Jerry Jeudy just a little bit over Dallas Goedert. Connor, Pollard, or Scott at running back. You're going to go Connor pretty much every week. I think that whole Boston Scott 2-touchdown thing, like that was that's a fluke. Same thing with Jordan Howard. Like you're starting those guys just in case. But I think we are going to see Kenny Gainwell a little bit more involved than we normally would, especially than we did last week. So yeah, it's going to be James Conner for me, for sure. Especially, and you got to remember, I think James Conner and Chase Edmonds have a little more value this week with Colt McCoy under center. Okay, so I really like James Conner even more than I typically would if Kyler Murray was under center. So definitely James Conner there. Full point PPR, choose one. CeeDee Lamb, Dallas Goedert, Javonte Williams, Emmanuel Sanders. Choose one. I mean, it's CeeDee Lamb every single week. You should not have this question at all. Any week of the season, you are starting CeeDee Lamb. It doesn't matter what the matchup is. Start your clearly your best player. It is CeeDee Lamb, week in and week out. Kadarius Toney or Damian Harris in a 1-point PPR flex. You're going to go with Damian Harris right now. He has been too good as the Patriots lead rusher. I mean, you just can't you can't deny that. I mean, he's getting a big load of the volume. And look, I think Ramondre Stevenson is going to continue to be inserted in this offense. But I do think that Damian Harris is the better play based on pure volume than Kadarius Toney. Let's see. Full point PPR, AP, Jordan Howard, or David Johnson. I think last week David Johnson was not a great option because after Mark Ingram was traded back to the Saints, David Johnson faced the Rams. Not a good play. This week, I think out of those PPR options, he's probably the best play because it's PPR. So I will lean David Johnson, but I'm not really excited about it. If this is 3 weeks from now, give me Adrian Peterson. I'll take Adrian Peterson over those guys the rest of the year, if that's the question. Non-PPR flex. Need one. Devontae Booker, Elijah Mitchell, Jalen Waddle, Chuba Hubbard, Jerry G. You're playing Elijah Mitchell. Every single week you're playing Elijah Mitchell. He's the workhorse running back on a good offense. I mean, he's just getting it done. So Elijah Mitchell is going to be your guy regardless. Tyler Hommick, probably a dumb question, but Debo or AP in my flex. Look, you're right. That was a dumb question. It is going to be Debo Samuel. Ertz or Kittle? You're going to go Zach Ertz there. If no Kyler, Colt McCoy, or Trevor Simeon, I guess I'll go Trevor Simeon because DeAndre Hopkins isn't going to play either. I'll go Trevor Simeon. Garrett Buckmaster says Tannehill versus the Rams, Daniel Jones versus the Raiders, or Tyrod versus Miami. It's definitely not going to be Tannehill versus the Rams. Galladay's back. Tony's playing. Slayton is playing, I believe. Ingram's there. Saquon's not back, which I think that would help Daniel Jones even more. I'm going to go Tyrod. I'll go Tyrod. I would not blame you if you went Daniel Jones versus the Raiders. I think they're very, very close. But I'll take Tyrod against Miami. Prasad says, T. Higgins, Christian Kirk, or Bryan Edwards. Pick 2. I will take T. Higgins. I will take Bryan Edwards. Bryan Edwards gets a little bit of a fantasy boost with no Henry Ruggs. T. Higgins has Joe Burrow as his quarterback, so he's always going to be the choice around these between these three. And I know DeAndre Hopkins isn't there, so Christian Kirk looks a little more attractive. If Kyler was the quarterback, I would go Christian Kirk over Bryan Edwards with DeAndre sitting. But I mean, it kind of neutralizes as great as it is for maybe Rondale Moore and Christian Kirk, and that AJ Green and DeAndre Hopkins are not going to be playing. Colt McCoy is the starting quarterback, so it kind of neutralizes that little bit of a boost. So Bryan Edwards and T. Higgins for me. Danny Dimes, Teddy B, or Jimmy G. I'll go Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo over Daniel Jones and Teddy Bridgewater. Bryan Edwards, Gainwell, or Agnew. I will go Bryan Edwards. Can I roll out Jeff Wilson, him or Brandon Bolden? I don't know if I'd roll out Jeff Wilson just yet. I don't know. Look, they have committed, it looks like, to Elijah Mitchell being the workhorse. Trey Sermon's not getting much work. Jermichael Hasey's not getting much work. So I don't know if we could really believe that Jeff Wilson, in his first game back from the PUP list, is going to be getting a lot of work. I think I would wait and see. I scooped up Jeff Wilson in several leagues because I think he will get work eventually. I don't know if it's going to be this week. So I think I would probably just go with Brandon Bolden this week. Dusty Dunaway, Allen Robinson, or Nelson Aguilar. Not really crazy about either one of them. I'll go Nelson Aguilar. Ceiling play, Nelson Aguilar. How far has Allen Robinson fallen? I mean, and it's not, I don't even think it's really a Robinson thing. I think it's more of a game plan Justin Fields thing. I do. Justin Fields just doesn't look like he's it. Now, look, he had a great game last week, and we'll see what he does tomorrow night against Pittsburgh's defense. But I'm staying away from Justin Fields this week. That's for sure. So he's going to have a little bit of a prove-it game for me. Allen Robinson or Tim Patrick? I'll go with Allen Robinson just because you know what? No, I am going to go Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick always seems to be even better when he's the third guy. He seems to always play better when Jerry and Cortland are on the field. Give me Tim Patrick. I'll roll with Tim Patrick. Start 2, Devonta Smith, Hollywood Brown, Kadarius Toney. I'll go with Kadarius Toney and Hollywood Brown. Those will be the 2 I'll start. Jacoby Myers, Jarvis Landry, or Julio. I'm not touching Julio Jones. I will go with Jarvis Landry. No Odell Beckham. DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones, one of my guys. He's going to be starting today, by the way. But I'll take Jarvis Landry, hopefully more of a volume role against Cincinnati. Full point PPR, Jacoby Myers or DJ Moore. I can't tell you out loud. I can't say start Jacoby Myers over DJ Moore. It doesn't even sound. It sounds disgusting. I can't tell you with a straight face to do that. So give me DJ Moore. I'll take him every week over Jacoby Myers. Burrow or Herbert? You're starting Burrow, baby. It's Joe Burrow every single week. Joe Burrow, I had him ranked higher than Justin Herbert coming into the year. I think he's going to finish higher than Herbert. Herbert's been, a little hit or miss the last few weeks. Go ahead and give me Jamar Chase there, especially Joe Burrow there, especially since you have Jamar Chase in your lineup. Hyde with no Robinson. No, I will go with James Conner over Carlos Hyde for sure, especially with no Kyler Murray. Easy for me. Lisa says, should I start Love, Brissett, or Bridgewater, or Big Ben just lost Tua? I would start Jordan Love. Again, guys, I think Jordan Love's going to have a good day today. Game is at on the 4 o'clock slate. I think this is going to be a really good game for Jordan Love. He's a dual threat. He's got a high ceiling. He's got a ton of arm talent. I think that Jordan Love is going to be just fine. I think he's going to have a pretty good game. I really, really do. And I've got him, and I put my money where my mouth is. I've got probably 4 or 5 leagues this week where I'm out of a quarterback. I've got to start somebody, and I chose Jordan Love over guys like that on the waiver wire. So give me Jordan Love. I'm riding this train with you this week. Standard, Jimmy G, Daniel Jones, Jordan Love, or Mac Jones. I will take Jordan. I'll put them in order. Jordan Love, Jimmy G, Mac Jones, Daniel Jones. I will take Jordan Love over all those guys. Standard, Damian Harris or Gaskin. I will take Damian Harris every week, really, over Myles Gaskin. Edmonds or Khalil Herbert. I will go with Khalil Herbert one more week. I will go with Khalil Herbert. I know there's rumors about David Montgomery may be playing Monday. Even if he does, I don't think he's going to see a lot of snaps, especially with how good Khalil Herbert has been in his absence. So it's one more week for me for Khalil Herbert as a pretty much set it and forget it type of player, almost in a way, as a strong RB2. Give me Khalil Herbert. I like him this week actually against Pittsburgh as long as he gets the work. Jason Van Hughes, I have no pants on. Yellowstone Season 4. Yeah, I'm excited too, buddy. I'm excited too. I can't wait. Devonta Smith or Van Jefferson. I will take Devonta Smith. Van Jefferson he isn't really typically going to get a ton of volume, really. And it's like Van is a lot more attractive if Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods is not playing. I think you just have a better chance with Devonta Smith. He's a better ceiling play as well. What's up, Chris? Taysom Hill or Daniel Jones at quarterback? I will take Daniel Jones. If Taysom Hill was the starter, I would probably take Taysom Hill. But from what I read this morning, he's not supposed to be starting. He's supposed to be Trevor Simeon. So we don't know how much Taysom Hill is going to play. Give me Daniel Jones this week against the Raiders. Hyde or Boston Scott, half-point PPR. I will go with Boston Scott. Start Brandon Cooks over Thielen, DJ Moore, or Keenan Allen in Philly. I will start Brandon Cooks over DJ Moore, for sure. With Tyrod coming back, absolutely. Daniel Jimenez, flex Cortland Sutton or Hunter Renfrow. I will go with Cortland Sutton pretty much every week. Better talent. Jerry Jeudy's back. That's gonna remove bracket coverage from Cortland Sutton for the most part. Give me Cortland Sutton over Hunter Renfrow. Start 2, Gaskin, Jacoby Myers, or Jerry Jeudy. I'm going to start Jerry Jeudy. I'm going to start Myles Gaskin. Good morning, Hyde or James Conner with no Robinson. I will go with James Conner. Lisa McCullough, PPR pick 2, 1 flex, and 1 wide receiver. Deebo Samuel, Mike Williams, Deebo Samuel, BMW, Claypool, Moss, Boston Scott, AP, Javonte Williams, or Hopkins. Hopkins isn't going to be playing, so he's out of the equation. You'll play Deebo. You will play Mike Williams. You'll play Javonte. Oh, wait, 2 flex. Oh, you need 2. 1 flex and 1 wide receiver. My fault. Okay. I'm going to play Deebo, and I'm going to play Mike Williams. There we go. Deebo and Mike Williams. Sorry, I misread that. Hurts or Tannegoat? I will go with Jalen Hurts over Ryan Tannehill. Love or Fields? I will go Jordan Love over Justin Fields this week, all day long. And Jerry Jeudy or Van Jefferson? I will go with Jerry Jeudy. Sandra says Emmanuel Sanders or Kadarius Toney in standard. I'll go with Emmanuel Sanders. I know he didn't really get the work that he had the previous 4 weeks before last week. I think he sort of gets back on track this week. Give me Emmanuel Sanders over Kadarius Toney. I like both, but I'll take Emmanuel Sanders over Toney. Brandon McLemore, CMC or Darrell Williams. CMC, look, it's full point PPR. CMC's to be playing. I don't know how many snaps he's going to play. I don't really care. There's not many players in fantasy that score more fantasy points per touch than Christian McCaffrey. Give me Christian McCaffrey, for sure. Tannehill or Carr, since Murray is sitting, I will take Derek Carr. Let's see here. Joey Beck, in case you missed it, James Robinson is out today. Yes, it looks like he is out today. He is out. And I guess now it's official. He was highly questionable when I got on air. So he is out, so Carlos Hyde is the guy, but you're not going to trust Carlos Hyde. Tajay Sharp or Jamal Agnew? I have a hard time believing that those are going to be your only options. This has got to be like a deep dynasty league where there's deep benches, and free agency is pretty much barren. I mean, if I had to choose, I'll go Jamal Agnew, but you don't need to expect anything out of those guys. Packers or San Francisco defense? I will go with the Packers defense. And then I'll take Devonta Freeman over Darnell Mooney, but I'm not excited about that either. Taysom Hill or Daniel Jones? I'll take Daniel Jones. Zach Ertz or George Kittle? I will take Zach Ertz. James Conner, Jacoby Myers, Derek Gore. Thanks from Canada. We got some Canadian viewers. There we go. Love it. I will go with James Conner. James Conner by a long shot over Jacoby Myers and Derek Gore, especially with Colt McCoy starting, Kyler Murray out. I think that helps the value this week of Chase Edmonds and James Conner. So give me James Conner there. A.J. Brown, Lamb, Chase, or Diggs. I don't know how many we're choosing, so I'll put them in order. Jamar Chase. You're never benching Jamar Chase. That's number one. Okay? So if you got to start one, which I can't imagine you would, Jamar Chase is the guy. So I'm starting Jamar Chase. I'm put them in order for you. Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Stephon Diggs. There you go. That's the four. James Conner, Damian Williams, or Darrell Williams. It's James Conner. You don't even need to own Damian Williams. I promise you. You can go ahead. You can cut Damian Williams. He is not going to be used. Khalil Herbert has overtaken him. David Montgomery is going to be back maybe Monday, if not next week. You can cut Damian Williams, and I would find another option at running back or wide receiver, something like that. Cut Damian Williams, forget about him. There's no point in even having him. James Conner's your easy option there. Joey Beck, Standard, Dame, or Gaskin. Give me Dame. Devonta Smith, Hollywood Brown, or Kadarius Toney at wide receiver. I will go with Marquise Brown and Kadarius Toney this week. Marquise Brown and Kadarius Toney. Darrell Williams or A.J. Dillon. I will go with A.J. Dillon. You know what? I'll go with Darrell Williams. I'll take Darrell Williams over A.J. Dillon. Yeah, at least for one more week. Give me Darrell Williams. Devonta Smith or Julio. I think A.J. Brown's probably gonna have to deal with Jalen Ramsey. So I'll go Julio. I'm a little nervous about it, but I'll go Julio. Chase Hope, Gainwell or Gaskin. Give me Gaskin just because I think he's going to get more volume. Rob Turney says Bateman or Devonta Smith. Give me Devonta Smith. TS, one of our YouTube subscribers, is asking Flex 1, Julio, Emmanuel Sanders, or Melvin Gordon. I'll put them in order for you. I would go Emmanuel Sanders, Melvin Gordon, Julio Jones. I think Emmanuel Sanders gets back on track like the previous 4 weeks. So give me Emmanuel Sanders, Melvin Gordon, and Julio Jones. Must-win game, PPR. Risk Hopkins being out. He is out, by the way. Or start Bryan Edwards or Darius Slayton. You're going to start Bryan Edwards. Bryan Edwards over Darius Slayton. Kyle Patterson, PPR flex. Gaskin, Booker, Tony, Judy, or Zach Moss. If we're choosing one, I'll go Kadarius Toney. Give me Kadarius Toney over all those guys there. Clinton Garrett, Burrow, or Jalen Hurts. Man, that's a tough one. In fantasy, I think it's the best question of the morning so far because Jalen Hurts, he's terrible in real life. But he's good in fantasy because he's got that rushing floor. I'm gonna go Burrow. I can't. I'm gonna go Burrow. Yeah, I just can't trust Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna go Burrow. Give me Joe Burrow. It's close. I won't crucify you if you choose Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna go Joe Burrow if it's me. Let's see. Chase Hope. Hair looking fresh today. That Old Spice Works Sweaters. Thank you, sir. Thank you, buddy. PPR. Jeremy McNichols, Kenny Galladay, Nelson Aguilar, or Marquez Callaway. I will go with Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay over all those guys this week. Another league, McNichols or Gaskin. Give me Gaskin. Again, pure volume. Give me Gaskin there. Start 3, Kadarius Toney, Marquise Brown, Damian Harris, Kenny Gainwell, Devonta Smith in 1-point PPR. Start 3. I think it's going to be the first 3 you named. Kadarius Toney, Hollywood Brown, and Damian Harris. There you go. Let's see. Jordan Love or Tyrod Taylor. Give me Jordan Love. I'm telling you guys, I think this is a Jordan Love day. I think Jordan Love's going to have a really good game today. I really, really do. I'm very confident. The matchup, the situation, I think he's going to be fine. I think Jordan Love's going to really impress a lot of people today. Jordan Love over Tyrod Taylor. Lisa says, PPR need one, Moss or Adrian Peterson, Boston Scott or Javonte Williams. I will go Boston Scott, Javonte Williams, Adrian Peterson, Zach Moss. All four pretty close together, but I'll go Boston Scott over the rest. Debo, Lamb, or A.J. Brown need two. I will take Lamb and A.J. Brown because we don't even know if Debo's going to play. So I'll play it safe, and I'll take the two other elite options over the questionable elite option. Let's see here. Brandon Holland, how good of a start is the Saints defense today, benching the Cardinals versus the Niners? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they're a great start. I think Atlanta's going to win the game. I do. I think Atlanta's going to win the game. But, I mean, they probably will have, like, a turnover or something. I don't know. It's so hard to tell. I would probably... I think I'd probably go Cardinals over the... Well, no, I'll go with the Saints. Yeah, I'll take the Saints. Just in case. I do think Atlanta wins. I do, in a very close game. But we all know this is Atlanta. Like, we just may completely fall apart. And if it's a disaster, that means the Saints defense is going to have a great game. Go ahead and give me the Saints defense. I like your option there. Go ahead and give me the Saints defense. Damian Harris or James Conner. I will take Damian Harris over James Conner. Need two, half-point PPR. Galladay, Myers, or Kirk. Give me Galladay and Kirk. No, Galladay and Myers. Sorry, Galladay and Myers. Let's see. Jimmy G or Jordan Love. Give me Jordan Love over Jimmy G. Joey Beck. Can you stream live where we can send you stars weekly? I don't know. Stars weekly? I don't know. DM me and elaborate a little bit more, because I don't know what you mean exactly. Mecole Hardman or Christian Kirk. You can cut Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman's never going to be an option for you. Play Christian Kirk. Don't expect much from him because of Colt McCoy, but start Christian Kirk. Renfro or Myers. I will go with Jacoby Myers. Renfro's not bad, but I'll go with Jacoby Myers. Full point PPR. Kyle Pitts or A.J. Brown. Give me Kyle Pitts. Real quick, and I want to say something on Kyle Pitts. You guys got to remember, last week everybody was like, oh, Kyle Pitts, blah, 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 blah. I told you not to play Kyle Pitts without Calvin Ridley the first time. What did he do? We saw what he did, right? As essentially the number one receiver. You got to remember, last week, Kyle Pitts the Falcons didn't get any sort of game plan time to game plan for Calvin Ridley being out and Kyle Pitts being the number one guy. They didn't have Kyle Pitts was getting bracket coverage all game long. They did not have a week to prepare like they did the first time Calvin Ridley was out. Now they've got a week to prepare for Calvin Ridley being out. Kyle Pitts can be just fine. Give me Kyle Pitts over A.J. Brown. A lot of you are going to disagree. Give me Kyle Pitts over A.J. Brown. Hopkins out. Would you start Kirk over Kadarius Toney? I would not. Give me Kadarius Toney. Give me Kadarius Toney over Christian Kirk. Khalil Herbert, Jacoby Myers, or Bryan Edwards. I will take Khalil Herbert, and then Bryan Edwards would be second for me. Kittle or Hunter Henry? It's going to be Hunter Henry for me. And next question is flex. Melvin Gordon, Hunter Renfrow, Julio Jones. Give me Melvin Gordon there. Van Jefferson, Rondale Moore, or Bryan Edwards. Give me Bryan Edwards, Rondale Moore, Van Jefferson in that order. David Martinez. Burrow or Herbert? It is Joe Burrow every week for me. Kirk might be out with Murray, so who's a better play? Well, Kirk's not going to be out. Hopkins is going to be out with Kyler Murray. Who's a better play, Bryan Edwards or stick with Christian Kirk? I would go with Bryan Edwards. Give me Bryan Edwards over Christian Kirk. Any news on Dak? Is he playing? The last I checked, Dak is going to play. I can check real quick live right here and see. Let's see. Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. Don't see anything yet on Dak specifically. Let me search it. Hold on. We'll get you a real-time answer here. Dak Prescott says it's safe to say he will be starting against the Broncos. Dak Prescott's playing. There you go. Get to it. How confident we feel about Deebo Samuel and CMC? I feel more confident about CMC than I do Deebo Samuel. But I'm probably going to play both if I have them, if they're both questionable. But we'll see what the I think Debo's a little more questionable than CMC at this point. Is Hyde a good play with Robinson out? No, he is not. Good morning, PPR, Deonte Johnson or Jalen Waddle. I will take Deonte Johnson pretty much every week over Jalen Waddle. Michael Figueroa, Carlos Hyde, Adrian Peterson, or Chase Edmonds. I'll take Chase Edmonds, especially in PPR. I'll take Chase Edmonds across the board, though, this week with Kyler Murray being out and Colt McCoy as the starting quarterback. So Chase Edmonds, to me, is without a doubt the number one guy. David Martinez, I have Waddle. Should I start him over Deebo Samuel? I would wait closer to kickoff to find out. Yes, if Deebo Samuel doesn't play. I think Deebo's going to end up giving it a shot, but I don't know how many snaps he's going to play. I'm gonna roll the dice here with you, and I'm gonna say Deebo. I've got him in a couple leagues, and I'm rolling him out as well, unless it's announced here shortly that he's out. But as of right now, I am gonna roll the dice and keep Deebo in. So give me Deebo over Jalen Waddle. All right, guys, looks like that's the last question of the day. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Best of luck this week. Enjoy the games. I will talk to you guys later. I am out.